Right now, we turn to your top story as the Commonwealth is expected to rest today in the Au Pair Affair murder trial for defendant Brendan Banfield. And this morning, what we want to do on opening statements is pull back the curtain, take you behind the scenes of this high-profile trial. This Virginia courtroom is underneath a national spotlight once again. If the judge looks familiar to you, she should. This is the same judge who presided over Johnny Depp's civil trial that he won, the case against his former girlfriend Amber Heard. Judge Penny Azcarate is the judge presiding over this case. She served as a Marine. That's right, she served in our military, and she was appointed to the position of chief judge.
If we could have 5 minutes for him to look at the photos, it would eliminate the need for me to say, offer into evidence, offer into evidence.
That's something to do before trial. Court starts at 10. We have the jury ready.
I'm asking that if we can take a few minutes for his client to review them, it would expedite the process of admitting them into evidence. They would be able to admit without objection.
You can do it right now, right here. I'm not going anywhere. We're ready to start trial.
So what's it like? What's the environment like when you try a high-profile case like this one? What's it like in this courthouse, in the courtrooms? What's it like practicing before Her Honor? Well, guess what? We have the perfect guest joining us to talk about all of that. Celebrity attorney, that's right, lead counsel, who represented Johnny Depp and won that case, attorney Ben Chu, on the show today. Ben, good morning to you. Let's start, if we can, please, about whether when you're watching this trial now, does it take you back? Are you getting flashbacks? I think a lot of people are wondering, are you glad it's not you in the courtroom this time?
Good morning, Julie. Good to see you again. Yes, I am getting flashbacks. She is, as you mentioned, Chief Judge Azcarate is just an outstanding judge. She served in the Persian Gulf War in 1991 as a Marine, as you mentioned. She was the first woman chief judge appointed in Fairfax. She is tough as nails, smart as a whip, and woe be to the attorney who is not fully prepared going before her.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. We learned through your trial, you have to know the rules of evidence before Her Honor, or you won't get that evidence in. We know. I remember watching Amber Heard's attorney struggling and not knowing objections to make and how to respond to the objections that you and your team were making. This is a good judge, as you said, Ben. So let's talk a little bit about the jury, if we can, please. What's it like to pick a jury in Fairfax County? How are the juries typically in your experience?
Well, our case, the Depp v. Heard, was a little unusual in the sense that all of the potential jurors wanted to be served. So we thought we would go through dozens of witnesses who give the usual laundry list of excuses as to why serving would be an undue hardship. But in our case, perhaps because of the celebrities involved and the interest that was generated, everybody wanted to serve. So we ended up picking a jury fairly quickly. In this case, I think it was a little more protracted. But again, Chief Judge Azcarate doesn't play a lot of games. She doesn't allow a lot of participation by the lawyers, and she picks it. She has the jury picked with alacrity. So it all happens pretty fast.
I would say so. Well, it's great to look back at this video. What a whirlwind that must have been for you. And it's interesting how your concerns in that case are different perhaps from these concerns these lawyers have been, as you had, a very high profile, one of the world's biggest stars who you were representing. And as you mentioned, people might want to get on that jury. In a case like the Au Pair Affair murder trial, we don't have celebrities involved. We just have a very high-profile case that's making headlines way beyond the world of true crime. So, ideally, you want the jurors who can be fair, be impartial, follow the evidence. And, Ben, I want to start by looking at some of that evidence with you now, some of the most key evidence coming from the Au Pair. We know that she's the star witness for the Commonwealth. Here's a clip from her cross-examination.
I would do anything for you. If they want me to turn against you, if they think or whatever they believe, and if they want to blame me for that, that's okay. I can take the blame. I'll never do anything to hurt you or against you.
Well, so the au pair here, star witness for the Commonwealth. We know that she's a bad actor too. Ben, would you talk to us please about, if you're in the position of the Commonwealth, how you deal with someone like this for your jury so that she becomes palatable enough for them to believe her testimony and not hold the whole case against her?
Well, Julie, that's a great question. And as you know, prosecutors often have to deal with tarnished witnesses because they're the ones who know, what happened with the defendant. So under no circumstances is she going to be, is the au pair going to be a likable witness, since, as you said, she was involved in the plot and directly participated, allegedly, in the gruesome murders. But I think she was credible enough. She didn't have a lot of affect. She was somewhat robotic, but I don't think that really matters. They did the cross. They said you did a deal, but I think it is enough for the Commonwealth to get across the line with these 12 jurors.
And Ben, you teach trial advocacy too. Tell me a little bit about what you would emphasize in the close with respect to the au pair and the believability of her testimony, also acknowledging the bad things that she did do.
Well, I think in closing, you just, go back to your opening, say this is what we promised the evidence would show, and in fact, this is exactly what we delivered. And you don't have to lionize her or make her a heroine, but just to portray the defendant as the primary evildoer here. I mean, let's remember, she is very culpable, but she is a young girl. And when you have an au pair, you are in loco parentis. So it really was the primary responsibility. The one who hatched the plot, the one who was the adult, he is the one who is most culpable. And she's not getting off the hook either. I mean, she had to plead guilty to manslaughter, so she's not getting a free ride here. So I think the Commonwealth will be able to put forward a very compelling closing argument. The evidence is overwhelming, and there's just not a lot of sympathy to be had. And I going back to your outstanding opening statement, I think the defendant is extremely lucky that Virginia no longer has the death penalty. It used to be among the top 3 in frequency of death penalty, along with Texas, Florida. Virginia used to be number 3, but as you say, it's been abolished, and so I think he's very fortunate.
He really is very fortunate, and thank you for those kind compliments, Ben. That means so much coming from you.